It seems like we could be seeing a Igor Shesterkin contract extension happen very soon, potentially, with the New York Rangers, although we originally, or at least some of us thought, that we weren't going to see a deal get done throughout this season, as it kind of came out that Igor didn't really want to negotiate a ton throughout this season. Obviously, the season began there. He declined that massive contract. We're here where we are now, and it does seem like we could be getting an extension very soon, as Kevin Weeks posted on X a picture of the New York City skyline there with the Empire State Building in the background a bit there. And, $11.5 million is just kind of what he put there with a question mark and then hashtag HockeyX. That was it. You got the eye emoji there, the $11.5 million with a question mark, hashtag HockeyX, a picture of the New York City skyline with the Empire State Building in the background. That is it. That is all. But most people are kind of presuming here that he's talking about Igor Shesterkin possibly signing that massive extension at some point in the very near future, which I'm kind of guessing at this point because Kevin Weeks, if you don't know already, he is a very reputable, NHL reporter / analyst. I mean, he's on ESPN with NHL Network and been on TSN as well in Canada. So this is a guy who was very trustworthy. He obviously was a former goalie in the NHL and a former goalie for the Rangers as well, which is interesting. Well over 300K followers on X there. So he's a very reputable guy there. So him throwing this out there with the eye emoji, $11.5 million, the New York City skyline there. This isn't some kind of crazy conspiracy theory thing. This is from a reputable source here, and it does seem like it's going to get done at some point very soon. He wouldn't just put this out there for fun. I mean, he does like to play a bit with the fans, I guess. Obviously, he does like to do this kind of stuff every once in a while there. Throw the eye emojis there, and then $11.5 million with a question mark. And obviously, he says nothing about the actual Rangers or, Igor Shesterkin himself. But you can insinuate here that with the New York City skyline there, the Empire State Building, he's always throwing a picture of the New York City area, and then, that $11.5 million. You can kind of presume that he's talking about Igor, because what other player in New York right now is kind of having all that buzz around him with the contract and that $11.5 million range? No one on the Islanders, obviously, and no one on the Rangers. So in this kind of whole New York area, you could say the only possible player it could really be is Igor. So it makes a lot of sense that it could be him. And if he does sign a new extension, whether it is an 8-year deal or less, whatever it is, we'll have to wait and see as well. He didn't say anything about the years, so we don't know exactly what the term could be. My guess is still that it's going to be probably that 8-year deal. I'm kind of guessing there he is, turning 29 in late December 30th. He turns 29 there. So I would imagine he's going to want to sign that massive long-term extension with the Rangers instead of a kind of short-term deal, which you never know, it could happen. But my guess is he'll sign that 8-year deal with the team. Hopefully it comes in at 11.5, which I'm fine with. I know some Rangers fans, don't want to see him paid even over like 10 mil or something like that, or even over 11, but I think 11.5 for truly how good Igor is a fine contract. Is it an absolute steal as of right now? Maybe not. But you also have to consider that this cap is going to go up quite a bit each season for the next long while here. So I truly do think, as of right now, let's say once the extension does actually kick in, which would be for the 2025-2026 season, this one coming up, not this season obviously, but next one, that $11.5 million may not look like a complete steal, although he is, I would say, the best goaltender in the league, and I would say he definitely deserves to be the highest paid goaltender in the league. And, as a Rangers fan, obviously I want to see him take the less possible, but you can't get too mad at the guy here. He deserves to get paid a crap ton of money there. A lot of other players have on this New York Rangers team as well, and this is a guy who is, I would say, the kind of clear, by far, most valuable player to this New York Rangers team. He's a goalie who actually does have a chance, I think, to win the Hart Trophy, the most valuable player, the MVP of the league. Now, it's going to be tough, and it doesn't really happen for goalies at all, but if there is ever going to be a goalie for the next decade plus to possibly win or at least finish top 3 in the running, like we've already seen Igor really kind of push for, and back in the 2021-2022 season there, he ended up finishing very close to kind of winning it, finished 3rd there. So this is a guy who I think is truly elite. He's a top-tier goaltender in this league, the best goalie in this league, the by far most valuable player to this New York Rangers team. So in my opinion, paying him $11.5 million with the cap going up in 2-3 years, this deal will look so good. And as long as he stays healthy, if he does sign that 8-year deal, I don't know how he could possibly just kind of fall off a cliff there. I mean, goalies, can have their moments when they just kind of fall off out of nowhere. But as long as he stays healthy with how good he's been and just consistently been in this league in the playoffs, the regular season as well, I mean, I just don't see how this contract could not look like an absolutely amazing deal long-term wise. And like I said, for the first couple of years, maybe it's not an absolute steal, but you look at years, 4, 5, 6 with goaltenders who can obviously, for the most part, go into their mid-30s, later 30s. Take a look at a guy like Jonathan Quick there. He's in his late 30s now, and he's still performing at a great level, and he's obviously not as good as Igor. Was he phenomenal back in his day? Absolutely, but he's obviously not as good as he's been in his prime, Quick has, but he's still great even though he is in his late 30s there. So for a guy like Igor Shesterkin, he can be great for a long, long time in this league, and signing him on an 8-year deal there, $11.5 million per season or around there, I think could be a truly phenomenal deal for this New York Rangers team. And if you want some more videos kind of talking about the possible Igor extension and kind of how good he's truly been so far this season, and also the kind of the impact that his new possible extension could have on the New York Rangers kind of long-term wise, definitely go check out my last couple of videos. I've been talking a lot about Igor lately. Had to make another video, so if you're kind of tired of me talking about Igor, I apologize, but obviously with this news here, I had to talk about it because this is big, big news here. So definitely comment down below your thoughts on this possible extension. Are you happy if he does sign an 8-year deal worth $11.5 million? I understand it's a lot there, but this is a guy who is the best goalie in the league. He does play his best hockey as well when it matters most in the playoffs there, and that's something that is big as well. He's not a guy who's going to play great in the regular season there and kind of fall off a cliff in the playoffs. He's a guy who's going to play his best hockey when the lights shine brightest in the biggest moments, and he's proven to do that. This is a guy who is so good, and I truly do think can lead this team to possibly winning a Stanley Cup. Now, there definitely is a lot more work for Chris Drury in this front office and coaching staff to do to make this team a true, real threat. But I think overall, this team right now with how it's built, it's a great team, obviously. We've made it to 2 of the last 3 Eastern Conference Finals, and having a guy like Igor back there, it can do a lot and really kind of carry you along. So I think having him back there, locking up long-term when possible, great deal long-term wise, and into the future, his deal could look great. This team is right now a contender. With him back there, we are always going to be a contender. I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed. With having a guy like Igor back there, he can carry you a long way. But now it's about building this team around him, getting the right forwards, defensemen to play in front of him there, to push this team over the top and get the job done to finally make the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in about a decade, but also end up winning the whole thing as well. So anyways, in the comment section down below, definitely let me know your thoughts on this possible Igor extension that Kevin Weeks is kind of hinting at, presumably being an 8-year deal, I'd imagine, kind of my guess there, at a cap hit around $11.5 million per season, which in my opinion would not be too bad. Is it a great deal as of right now, this exact second? Is it a phenomenal value? Maybe not, but is it a good deal? I think absolutely. And long-term wise, it should look like an absolute great deal for this New York Rangers team as well. Barring any injuries, he's going to play great for a long time. I'm really happy that it does seem like Igor could possibly sign a deal. Hopefully not jinxing it there, but Igor is so good, and I'm really excited to see what he can do moving forward with this team as well. So hit that like and subscribe button for pretty much daily New York Rangers content as well. I'll catch you in the next one, and let's go Rangers, as well as Igor Shesterkin, who's an absolute beast of a goaltender.